Welcome back. As you know, I'm Eli the Computer Guy here for the Daily Blob, where I shake my brain nipples every day so I can earn money from YouTube to provide you folks free education. So I run something called SiliconDojo.com, my pride and joy, where we're doing in-person technology education classes in Durham, North Carolina. Basically, they are free to the end user. Imagine the same way you come and you watch YouTube videos and get technology education. What if there was an in-person experience that was the same way? You simply RSVP, you sign up, you get educated. Wouldn't that be amazing? Anyways, that's what I'm trying to do, and that's why I'm here screaming about stupid shit in order to get some of that YouTube cash to be able to pay for what's actually important in life. So I think this story is kind of interesting just to show you the complete and utter shit show the Trump administration really is, and kind of, to give you the foreshadowing of where everything is going to go. This is not specifically about technology, but this is one of the things that the Trump administration was really supposed to care about, and so to see it falling apart already so soon, I think is, again, a bellwether for what is to come. So coming from CNBC, oil companies slash jobs by the thousands as prices fall, tariffs rise, and industry consolidates. So one of the big things we've heard about the Trump administration is that solar panels and windmills, those are just pipe dreams. Those aren't strong energy, right? What we need is drill, baby, drill. And so that's dumb. It's just fucking dumb, but whatever. Let's just take it on the face of it. Okay, he is trying to kill all the clean energy because he's a dipshit, and he's trying to focus on drill, baby, drill, right? We need more coal. We need more natural gas. We need more oil. Whatever. Well, the problem is, right, he's so bad at his job, right? He has a lot of business experience. He has a tremendous amount of business experience bankrupting businesses. And so we're at the point where he's supposedly trying to be supporting the oil industry, but his actual policies are complete and utter fucking disaster, because that's just financially not how these businesses operate, right? And I think this is an important thing to take a look at, to think about where we're going as a country, right? They're talking about this a lot with the farmers right now, right? The soybean crop is coming in. China normally buys billions and billions and billions of dollars of our soybeans, and they haven't bought a dime of our soybeans this year, right? Hey, fuck around and find out, you fucking senile piece of shit. The problem is this senile piece of shit is fucking around with the country, and the country is gonna find out his stupid policies, right? But that's the thing, right? The farmers right now are gonna be ass fucking screwed because China doesn't want to buy our soybeans. You can't force China to buy our soybeans. You can't force China to buy our agricultural products. They're going to other places, right? You're gonna fuck around with China, you're gonna find out just how much they actually give a shit about our country, right? So anyways, the farmers right now are just getting smacked to high hell and back. And the interesting thing with the farmers is not only is China not purchasing all of these agricultural products, but so many inputs that the farmers need come from global suppliers, and so tariffs are pushing up the costs to actually deliver, the agricultural products that nobody wants to buy. So basically, Trump's economic policies have increased the cost to create a product that is then going to go rot. I think that says a lot about MAGA economics right now. And so anyways, we're seeing that with the farmers. The interesting thing here, again, with the oil producers, is that Trump is in a weird place, right? So Trump wants to prove that the economy is doing well. Just like Biden wanted to prove the economy was doing well, and it wasn't doing well under Biden, Trump is trying to pretend the economy is doing well, and so he's trying to goose stupid things, right? And so one of the things he's trying to goose is basically decrease the cost of gas, right? If the gas price goes up, gas is something that people buy either every week or every couple of days. It is one of those indicators people know. People know what they think the price of gas should be. So if the price of gas is above that number, then they're mad, and if it's below that number, they're happy. So one of the things that Trump is trying to do to goose the economic indicators that people see on a relatively regular basis is try to decrease the cost of gas. The issue is much of the gas, the oil that's produced in the United States comes from shale fracking. So what fracking is basically there's oil that's trapped in like these stone formations underground. And so what they do is they force a lot of really caustic, nasty shit into the ground at exceedingly high pressure to break up all of those rock formations to then be able to extract the oil. Well, think about it, right? If you simply put a pipe in the ground and oil pops out, that's probably going to be cheaper than putting a pipe in the ground, putting a lot of caustic shit at high pressure in the ground to break shit up to then get oil out of the ground, right? And so the issue is for fracking, for much of the oil production that's done in the United States, they need a higher break-even point than places like Saudi Arabia and Venezuela does, right? So Saudi Arabia, Venezuela, they get a break-even point at something like $35 a barrel, something like that. For fracking, they need to be somewhere about $55 or $60 a barrel. And so the issue is, right, so what Trump has done, Trump has put a lot of pressure onto OPEC Plus, to decrease the price of oil. So the value of oil has gone down. At the exact same time, for anybody producing oil in the United States, you need pipes, and you need trucks, and you need supplies that, wait from it, come from a global supply chain. So now with these massive tariffs on steel, think about what pipe is made out of, steel, right? Think about these massive tariffs. So the cost to actually be able to produce oil in the United States has increased dramatically because of Trump's god-awful policies. At the exact same times, his policies are pushing the price of oil down, which basically means he's also destroying the oil industry. Which, I mean, it is ironic. It is kind of funny and ironic that the two industries that seem to be getting damaged the most quickly, are the ones that really supported the Trump administration. So anyways, from CNBC, U.S. oil companies are cutting jobs by the thousands as they respond to falling crude prices, higher tariffs, and a wave of consolidation in the industry. President Donald Trump promised boom times for oil and gas when he took office in January. Instead, the industry has shed 4,000 positions through August, according to the BLS. The layoffs come as U.S. crude oil prices have fallen 13% this year due to OPEC Plus members rapidly increasing supply of the global market. West Texas Intermediary was trading under $63 per barrel Tuesday, below the break-even price that many shale oil producers in Texas need to drill new wells at a profit. So basically, the price that these companies can get for selling a barrel of oil is under the cost that's required to deliver a barrel of oil. The three biggest U.S. oil companies, Exxon, Chevron, and ConocoPhillips, have all announced job cuts in 2025, making major acquisitions over the past 2 years as the industry consolidates. Exxon is cutting 2,000 positions as it implements its restructuring plan. Chevron announced in February that it would cut up to 20% of its workforce through 2026. Conoco said earlier this month that it would cut 25% of its workforce. Wow! Wow! How's the Trump economy doing for you folks? 20% of the workforce here, 25% of the workforce there. Is this what you signed up for? Anyways, the broader energy sector, meanwhile, has shed 9,000 positions through August of this year, about 30% increase in layoffs compared to the same period in 2024. Hiring has ground to a near standstill this year, with energy companies planning to fill around 1,000 openings, down 90% from the more than 12,000 openings during the same period in 2024. So layoffs are up. Hiring is down by 90%. Shale oil executives have criticized Trump's push for lower prices. At the same time, costs are increasing due to his steel tariffs, warning this would lead to job losses. Quote, the administration is pushing for $40 per barrel crude oil, and with tariffs on foreign tubular goods, input prices are up and drilling is going to disappear, one executive said. Quote, the oil industry is once again going to lose valuable employees. Another executive said the administration was aligned with the policies of OPEC Plus at the expense of U.S. producers. Yes, it is shocking about the Trump administration. America first, I mean, right after Israel, and probably right after OPEC plus. After what? Once you get through the important countries, then America is first. Instead of supporting domestic production, we've effectively aligned with OPEC, using supply tactics to push prices below economic thresholds, kneecapping U.S. producers in the process, the executive told the Dallas Fed. The same executive said the oil majors are pushing out the, quote, entrepreneurs who once defined the shale revolution. As the industry consolidates, Exxon recently acquired Pioneer Natural Resources for $60 billion. Chevron has purchased Hess for $53 billion, and Conoco bought Marathon Oil for $17. In their place, a handful of giants now dominate, but at the cost of enormous job loss and the destruction of the innovative, risk-taking culture that made the U.S. shale industry great, the executive said. So there you go. There you go. The oil industry, where I do believe a lot of the folks are proud to wear their red hats, where they spit on the people that have blue hair, and surprise, 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 they do not get to escape the consequences of fucked up economic policy. And this is the issue that we're running into. And this is the problem that I've talked about. Again, the whole idea of reshoring, right? I am for reshoring. I am for bringing back more industry to the United States. But what you have to understand is over the past 30 to 40 years, we have created a global supply chain. Right? That's just the fact of the matter. It will take a decade or two at least to redesign the supply chain. You simply cannot do it overnight, no matter the dictates of a senile old loser who's cracked out on Diet Coke. Just because he says doesn't mean it's easy to do. And that's one of the big problems that we're having right now, right? So, okay, you want to make American industry more viable and more profitable, but they get all of these inputs from the rest of the world. If you jack up the cost of the inputs, right, that is going to decrease the viability of our own, internal industries, right? They talk about that with Ford, right? Ford is the largest manufacturer in the United States. A tremendous number of their products come from overseas, right? Whether that's a good supply chain or a bad supply chain, whether it should have been allowed, the whole 9 yards, whatever those arguments are, the fact of the matter is that is the world that we're in. And so if you want Ford to shift their supply chain, that can happen. Whether it's carrot or stick, that can happen. But it can't happen overnight, right? And so that's where you're seeing the increase in costs and so many things. Again, I talk about that right now, where I just bought a new house, right? So we moved to Asheville about 5 years ago. When we moved to Asheville, there weren't many houses on the market, so we bought the best one that was there. It wasn't the one we preferred. 5 years later, we found a really nice house, so we moved to this house. So the interesting thing is I'm literally rebuying things that I just bought not that long ago. So like a whole house water filter and some blinds and some other stuff for the house. Oh my God, the price for these things are going through the fucking roof, right? What used to be like, well, it's a little bit pricey, but for the value proposition, okay, is now getting to be brutal expenses. And you start thinking about that right at the nation state level. Think about all of the businesses in this country. Think about all the people in this country. And they're looking at these inputs, right? Buying things, from the supply chains, how they are, right? The massive tariffs that are there. At the exact same time, they're not sure if they're going to keep getting a paycheck. Right? Do you think that creates a good economy? But anyways, so this is what we're seeing out of the oil industry, right? Trump is destroying the green energy revolution, right? He's so fucking stupid and senile, all right? He's destroying wind projects that have already been approved and they've already started building, right? They're literally ripping out electric vehicle infrastructure that has already been installed in federal facilities. This isn't stopping. This isn't saying, okay, the money's been allocated, but we're going to reallocate it somewhere else. This is money, resources that have already been created. A tremendous amount of money and resources have already gone in to this infrastructure. He's literally destroying pre-built infrastructure, right? Because he's fucking crazy. And now what we're seeing is not only is he destroying the green energy revolution, which is what it is, but his policies are so fucking bad that the people he says he's trying to support, he's still effing them too. And so if you look at this, again, we're 9 months, we're 9 months into this insanity. Where do you think we're going to be in another 3 years? As I say, the dominoes fall. I know a lot of you. You're like, you got TDS. Oh, he's got Trump derangement syndrome. Right. I will tell you about the Great Recession. I will tell you my experience with the Great Recession. When Bear Stearns fell, I did not give 2 fucks. I was like, poor them, poor money people. Oh, money people actually got to do a fucking job. Boo-hoo. Right? But then after that, right, the real estate market started going to hell. Well, the real estate maker was stupid. Hey, if you were dumb enough to invest into real estate, well, you should take the consequences. Well, then all the people that supported the real estate market, they started to have a lot of problems, right? You know, the contractors and all that kind of stuff. And then the people that supported those people, right? The accountants and that kind of thing, right? 3 months later. And then April the next year is when we got hit. That's the important thing to understand with this, right? It's not like when we look back, like even COVID. Think about those with COVID, right? You look back at COVID. Already COVID is consolidating into just like this one memory, like the COVID time period. And it's amazing how the human brain does it, right? So COVID essentially was about 2 years, it was a 2-year event, but the human brain starts squishing it down, right? You heard about COVID in like, what was it, November of 2019? I mean, vaguely. And then you heard it like kind of like spread to Italy, kind of, sort of. And then you remember the Democrats were out there hugging Asians. Hey, we've got a medical crisis. We might have a pandemic on our hands. What should we do? Oh, the Democrats say, go hug random motherfucker. Take the racism out of it. Take the racism out of it. The Democrats literally wanted people to go around hugging random motherfuckers. Like, it's easy, right? And then all of a sudden there started to be the shutdown. We hear like, we've got to, decrease the spread or whatever. It turns into this whole big thing. Right? And that's what I want you to be thinking about with this. And again, with your careers and everything else. Right? This is, we are in the moment when the infections in Italy started increasing massively. Right? We are at the moment where people are starting to debate, well, really, is the reason that the Italians are having a problem with disease is that the Italian, demographics, skew elderly, and they're a pretty touchy-feely community. So, what's going on with the Italians is bad, with this new COVID disease. But I'm not really sure we can take that as a lesson for what will happen in the United States, right? That's its own. We should feel bad about that. But, I mean, that's not, you can't really correlate that to us. That's the moment we're at with this current economic disaster. We are debating about the people getting sick in Italy right now. And so yeah, I mean, we're gonna figure out what the hell happens. Fuck around and find out. Fuck around and find out. Well, we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. So what do you think about this? What do you think about the Trump administration destroying the oil industry? What do you think about, again, the oil industry needing supplies? Again, basic supplies, steel pipes, that type of stuff. Tariffs are through the roof. At the exact same time, the price for what they're selling is going through the floor. What do you think about this is one of the industries that supposedly he's trying to prop up, literally at the detriment of so many things, and they're going through so many problems right now. I don't know. Put your thoughts down below. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a thumbs down. Call me amazing. Call me a moron. But just do it like a real Lutnick and do it down there in the comment section. Do remember Silicon Dojo? SiliconDojo.com. Again, we're offering free technology education classes in Durham, North Carolina. First one coming up next week is full. too many people are coming to that one probably. Anyways, but we will be doing that once or twice per month in Durham, North Carolina, and probably hopefully doing some more stuff. So if you're interested in that, go to silicondojo.com. And with that, see y'all later.